Hey everybody, how are you doing? It's Bear from Bear's Workshop, and we are here to go over today's video of the Lucid Flyover. January 5th, New Year. They were not working on Monday. They were working today, and we're going to take a look in a moment here. We're going to see just how good of a job that they did. And honestly, there was... You guys saw the picture. I assume most of you guys saw the picture. I'm just getting everything all set up here. As far as the car count and it being a little bit less and not being any new cars, but it is what it is. We know that they're working, but the first thing I want to show you guys, I know everyone's not here yet, so this will just, what do we got on? 39. Move that over just a little bit so I can see it and rearrange everything else. So when we first started flying today, I'm going to bring this video over the screen. We got a short little clip, and it's not the greatest clip. It was off the phone. We had another drone flying overhead, and which meant to us, I'm going to turn this so that Lucid logo is not on my head. Let me see. No, I'm going the wrong way. Okay. There we go. That should... maybe we'll just get rid of that. That's just totally in my head, isn't it? Probably need to make that smaller another time. Now it's just gone. So we're going to show you a little clip. There was another drone flying overhead. And because of the issues with everyone blaming or Lucid not liking us, we're going to just show you this. I'm going to pause this real quick when we... there we go. It's right here. Very hard to see for you guys, but that was another drone flying, and they flew over Lucid property. And I know that there's another guy, an older guy, that flies every once in a while. And he mentioned in one of his videos that we're not allowed to fly. But, I mean, we are allowed, but legally we're not. So there's a quick little video showing that our drone was still on the ground, and that was not us flying around. So I wanted to show you guys that real quick. But before we get started, let's take a look at it and see who's in the chat. Let's see. We got Matthew Spry. Hello. Let's see. Open to the road. Bears Workshop. Go Lucid. Thank you, Bears Workshop. You guys are... I'm going to say you're welcome to everyone who says thanks right now. Jordan says, hey, Bear. We need to bust through 40, says Roy. JJ says, Nicola and Lucid to the moon. Yes. Nicola thought it was going to go to the moon today for a little brief period of time today. Majid says, when Lucid going to tell the result of 2021, I'm going to expect that around February 15th-ish of this next month. Last year they did their quarterly earnings on November 15th, so they go about 45 days. So unless something else changes, that's probably what it's going to be, probably around February 15th. I don't even know what day of the week that is. Let's take a quick look and at the calendar. I don't know if they'll save it for a weekday or if they're just going to just do it on the 15th because that's when they do it. Let's see. February 15th is going to be on a Tuesday. So it's very possible it'll be Tuesday, February 15th. That's just my guess right now. Jerry's Production says it's about drive. It's about power. We stay hungry. We devour. Put in the work. Put in the hours. It's a good mantra, but most people don't do that. Scott says, Nicola Love today was short, but a good sign. Yes, it was. I was hoping that with the orders that little rally would have lasted a little bit longer. But it is what it is. The whole market was down and it got dragged back down. Lee is on time for once. Also says what a bloodbath this market is. It sure is. It's going to get worse. Spy puts up 700%. Okay. Johnny L says, I believe Lucid will give delivery results during the fourth quarter earnings call. Well, I agree with that. And like I said, I think that's going to happen on February 15th. Scott says hi. iMelt says Hi, sounds good. Lee, I'm not looking the rest of the week. I'm not looking the rest of the week. My calls I wrote are so safe after this crap. There's no point to look. I'm still up 50%, but still painful to see it drop. Yeah. Jordan saying hello. I thought you said hello already, Jordan. Oh, you did. You're back. I guess maybe you left. Grand Touring, baby. Yeah, I think we got a good picture of a Grand Touring. Well, not a good picture, pretty fuzzy picture, but we were zooming in. I want to explain to everyone that I mentioned in a couple of live streams ago that our new drone, we bought an RC Pro controller. It's a more expensive controller than the one that comes with the drone. It's like $900, and it comes with a screen built into it, so you don't have to hook your phone up to it, which is kind of a pain. And it's a more advanced controller. Well, that was brand new from China, and the left stick was just a little bit off in one of the spots. So we're doing the return process. It's going to take a couple weeks before we get it back. So therefore, we're using a new controller that is brand new to us and doesn't control the same way. So our zoom shots aren't as crisp today, and we're going to have a little bit of a learning curve before we can get back into it. And there's also all the features that were on the other controller are not there. So when we have a little bit of jerkiness, it's going to be because of that. That's our excuse now. Vince says, "Sup, Bear? Looking forward to your update. It's coming here in a moment." Octavio is here. Hey, Bear. Exley says, "Are you also invested in Lucid or just into the company?" That's the same thing. No, the wife and I do have shares of Lucid, and I'm just not a stalker. So yeah, we do have some investments in it, and we'll likely have more in the future, especially if the price keeps dropping like it is. Let's see, let's go, Bear. Yeah, other dude flew over the factory. Yes, he did. Looked at his page. He seems to go out there every couple months, and that's fine. I think he's more of a hobbyist, and that's cool. But I just hope he doesn't get in any trouble with Lucid, because they'll just sue him just because they like to sue people, I guess. Because they got a lot of lawyers sitting around. I guess they're looking for some work to do. Matthew says, "Please give me some good updates. I'm scared for earnings." Don't Care says, "Fed news are always where to go." My chat's getting away from me. Fed news are always fire, brother. Nicholas signs another contract for trucks. Yes, they did. They got another order for 10. I think it was 10 with another 90 on an LOI. And that's supposed to happen rather soon this year, this half. So that'll be good for them. JJE. Hey, Brian. Good to see you here. Hills Dude gives 0 ducks about Lucid fake bands USA. Yeah, he. I don't think he cares. I think, like I said, I think he's a hobbyist. Brandon says, "Fed production news on earnings makes sense. Going to need something to recover from insider unlock in January." Yeah, and that is coming, and that's something to keep in mind. That the insider unlock is coming up. Anybody know the date? I think it was the 9th. That the insiders are going to have an unlock, and we're going to see a sell-off from some people who want to cash in on their options. Let's see. Funny though, he noted that Nikola did ask him to stop flying over the factory, so that's weird. He tends to fly lower, so maybe he's breaking the aviation rules. No, actually, JJ, the rules are as long as you don't hit the ground, you're not breaking any laws. I know it's kind of silly, but we could fly 1 inch over the ground. Once we touch the ground, it's considered disorderly conduct, and it can be, at least in Casa Grande, you can be charged with that. Coolidge might be a little bit different, but I don't think Coolidge cares either. Because there's no state law saying that you can't fly a foot, an inch off the ground. Now, you can run into invasion of privacy things, but it also depends on, I suppose, if you're filming. I don't agree with those laws. I think it's a little bit too much in the drone flyer's favor to fly into someone's backyard, hover over their pool for 10, 15 minutes and leave. That would be intrusive. First name, last name. With all the frames outside, I think they'll start delivering a lot more trucks soon. What are your thoughts, Bear? They've got 24 frames out there, and that's something that we're going to make sure we keep a track of every time we fly out, how many frames that they have. So we can see when the frames start disappearing means that they're going inside to be assembled, and that means that something has to come out the other side, because this is a production line. Now granted, when they open up the real production line where they're not hand assembling, which is going to be parts of the existing building and parts of the new building, and they're going to have the frames sitting on the AGVs, and they're going to move them around and just install parts as they go. When that first opens up, we're probably going to see a bunch of frames go in rather quickly so that they can get started on that. Like Woa, Bear, do you think they're shutting down the factory to retool for Grand Touring? I would hope that they don't have to retool for Grand Touring. They should be able to produce every one of their models on the same line. There are car manufacturers out there that produce all variants of their cars. I don't know if Tesla does the S and the 3s on the same exact line, but I've seen car production videos where you could have different cars actually coming on the same exact line. They're similar in cars, they have the same parts, but with the way they have everything set up, the parts are brought to the right station regardless of what car. I mean, every car is different anyway. You've got cars with different colors, that might have different interiors, different seating, different seats. So I would expect that they would not need to retool just to change a type of car, because if you had to take your factory down for a couple of days so that you can go from a Dream Edition to a GT to a Pure, that's a horrible waste of time. It has to all work in sync together. Let's see, first name, last name. I'm at negative 25%, not worried. I keep buying and lowering my average price. That's what I did until I got into under 10s. I don't know which we're talking about, Lucid or Nikola, but for Nikola, that's what I did. Let's see, I am holding 5,000 shares, $41 next 5 years. Yeah, you're real close to break even. I think that it can easily pop over that in a single day. Short term, expect lots of volatility. Long term, we good. I agree. Paul's here. Hey, Paul, how are you doing? Glad to join your live stream. And Seattle's in the house. Let's see. Happy New Year. Thanks for another streaming. Before we get started, I'll get started here in a minute, because you guys have already been here 12 minutes and I've been rambling. We're still trying to get more patrons. We have a goal right now, 10 patrons before next Monday to fly on Monday. We've got 1, so we need 9 more Patreons. So if you want to help support this channel, we don't care if it's $1. Well, we do care. I mean, the more the better. But you can join for as little as $1. There's 5 different levels. There's 1, 5, 15, 50, and 100. And we appreciate you guys' support, anything that you can give us. So once, if we get another 9 before Monday, we'll fly on Monday. Once we get to 80 total, then we'll fly every Monday. And then we'll set a new goal for Thursdays. So if you guys can help support the channel, please check out the Patreon link down below. We'd really appreciate it. Let's go through these chats and, well, let's get started on this video. I've been rambling for a while. Let's see. Get that big screen for you and switch this over. There we go. And we are moving. Let's see. January 19th, Brandon says, for the unlock. And so does Matthew. And so does, like, whoa. And Matthew says January 20th. Okay, so this is the southeast corner of the property. We can see that crane that was set up last week is still standing there, has not moved. That's what it doesn't look like. That's one of the construction entrances right there. This is all employee parking lot, future employee parking lot. One thing that we can notice over here real quick is over in this area on the top, we've got a lot more steel has been delivered and is up here for this building to go further out this way. So they've got a lot of steel staged up. So that crane needs to get to work and get moving. But I'm sure that will happen. Those cranes aren't cheap to have around, so I'm sure they'll get those things moving pretty soon. And over here in the solar panel area, we can finally see that there are cars underneath that section that's on the bottom end there. This is the east end of the site, but there are now employees finally parked under there. So now the next question remains if they're going to close off another section and keep building those solar panels, which the more the better. So I think that would be a good idea if that's what happens next, before this parking lot's not big enough for how many employees that they're going to have. This area is also going to be parking lot right here, and this is a large retention basin where the water will flow. Here's a nice picture of the structure going up. You can see this crane has nothing, I think. Oh no, you can't see it. It's real hard to see, but he's actually got two beams in there, and they're lowering them into place right now. And in the background, we can see that steel that I was just pointing out. There's where it's starting to pile up over there. So they've got that stage pretty good. They just need to keep running through it. Here's a better close-up view. The steel is right where my mouse is. It's all white. It's very hard to see. But fortunately, we have the zoom camera. And you can see that there's plenty of guys on site. These guys underneath on the blue cranes, they're fastening things in. These guys on the red cranes are going to be doing other work. Where eventually we're going to start seeing crews on the north side, this is the south side we're looking at, on the north side of the structure, start doing other things like getting ready to put in more utilities or pavement, or not pavement, but the actual foundation that will go around. It's not really a foundation, it's more of a floor, because the foundation is tied into the beams themselves. But we'll see more concrete work going on. That will be probably coming from the north end down once they're ready for that. Once they've got all the welding, all the bolting, and everything that they need to get the decking on top. The decking is on top, but they need to have guys up there, and they'll start laying those out. Over here, you can see there's a large amount of trenching going on. Not sure what's going in there, but you can see it's quite the ditch. Up top, this is our storage area, where all the materials that they get in that they're not ready for is going to go up there. And they also have storage for tools and other equipment that they might need. A pretty good size storage area. Over here is the construction parking lot area. And as you can see, the two cranes are moving. It's going to be a lot quicker when they get that other crane going. And I think there's going to be a fourth crane also. First name, last name says, I think Nikola will be in the $17 to $20 range by the first quarter earnings. I would love to see that. I'm not as confident as you would be, because I didn't put that down in writing where someone can call me out on that. PIF stated that they're holding, let's see, just going through some of these. They don't want to repeat the same mistakes. Giga Casa, Giga Arabia, Giga Europe, all within 5 years. Yeah, it's possible. I'm not going to be able to do flyovers in Saudi Arabia. Haven't gotten an invite. I don't think I'm going to. And I don't want to learn their laws. No offense to them. I just don't think that their laws are going to be as easy as ours will be. Vince, do you have any guess of how many percentage of cars you missed that were produced and delivered before your next flyover? Or do you think this is very little, seeing how long most cars are standing there? There were some cars that came in and went out very quickly, where we would see them on one day and then we wouldn't see them on the next day. So there's a lot of logistics. I've said this before. You just don't know if some cars are going to sit because of whatever reason. Maybe they're not ready for delivery. Maybe the sales fell through. And maybe that's why those cars, like the 31 that are going to be on the right-hand side that were on the last couple pictures, maybe that's why they haven't left, because they don't have a destination yet, because orders may have been canceled and they have to be resold to someone else. I don't think they'll have any problems reselling them to anybody else, but you got to secure those orders, and then you have to have a car hauler that's going to have a full load on it going in that direction. So that's all part of it. could be part of it. So I'm not too concerned. There's people spreading FUD that they're missing parts and that's why they're there. If they're missing parts, I don't think that they would at all put those cars out there. I don't think that they know that can be seen from the street. It's not just me. So that's not something that they want to put out there. So here's an interesting view. You can see these columns coming up that go across. That is where the tunnel is going to be, where cars are going to move along this to get from one building to the other building. Maybe to get over, I think to get over to the paint shop. Maybe they'll come from this direction or maybe they'll go in that direction. But that's all part of what that is. And that area of the factory is just going to be that much taller than the rest. And it's going to have like a little hump coming out of it when it's all said and done. It's like the tunnel that you can see between the two buildings. JJ says, Lucid and Tesla are not competitors. They're both competing against ICE. I agree with JJ. I don't think that Lucid is really competing against Tesla. They've both got two wonderful cars. Two cars that do some amazing things that ICE vehicles can't do. Everything from the speed and the comfort. And you know, the ICE cars can do the comfort, but it's the speed. They're cheap to own. There's no oil in them. They don't have emissions. I mean, you can go down that list. So they just need to keep taking market away from the ICE vehicles. And once that happens, the legacy automakers can either change or go away. That was a shot of the cars from our further angle. We will get in there closer, and we'll see what we have left from Monday and Friday and Wednesday, because it's the same cars minus some. So there's just that's called a scraper, and he's just moving the dirt around, leveling it out on the area that's over there. That's part of the what was that building? It's that building right here. This one right here. This is what we were seeing in that video. And you can see they're still bringing in dirt or taking it away, but they're going in and out, still working their stuff. These are all buildings that are going to get demolished in the future. And here's our waiting area, what you guys have all been waiting for. So it was, I'll say I'm a little disappointed because I would assume that they came back from work yesterday and not really seeing much in the way of new cars. But, I mean, these are the same 18, this is the same 31, and this is down to, I think, 14 cars. So 8 more cars were pulled away from here. I think it might have been 7 from here and maybe 1 from up here. But we do have a shot for you, which is coming up here real soon, of this area right here. And we've got this car right here. I know the thumbnail didn't look as good as this, but once we zoom in, we'll get a better picture of it. But we can see the rims on them. The rims on it are clearly not Dream Edition. They are clearly Grand Touring or Touring. But in order for it to be Touring, that would mean that was a 400-mile range car, and they're not making those yet. So you can see the rims on them, and so that clearly has to be a Grand Touring before it's gotten its wrap. So I think that's pretty clear. If you don't think it's clear, zoom in, and once you zoom in and compare it on Lucid Motors' page to what's available, those are clearly Grand Touring rims. So I definitely think that's a Grand Touring. We saw one last week also. I don't know if it was the same one or not, but it looks like they've definitely started that. If they're going to start the Grand Touring, that means that they have had to have finished their Dream Edition, which means that was their goal. It wasn't to deliver the cars, it was to produce them. Here's a little shot. We haven't focused on this, and I think we're going to get a better picture of it next Friday from a different angle. But this is their test track. Even though I've yet to see anybody on this test track, you can see that they've got the bumps right here. On my main screen, I can see what this is. This looks more like bricks. This looks like cobblestones right here. These are humps in the road on this side, but it's just a different material to drive over and to listen for noise while they're driving. I thought it was pretty interesting when we got that look today. We're going to try and get another one. You know, it might be interesting if there's a way that we could see what's on the other side of these signs. Or actually, these are facing this way. We're going to have to see if we can get a little bit better zoom and read what's on those signs, like slow down or go fast. I don't know. I don't know if they put on those signs. There was 8 of them. That seemed like a lot of signs for such a short area. Maybe it was a speed limit. You have to keep reminding people. Oh, look, we got some spam in the chat. That's awesome. Let's see. Like, well, there's rumors that all the cars didn't get delivered because they're waiting for parts. Like I said before, that's ridiculous. I don't think that they would do it like that. I think that they'd put them away for now. It's not that many cars. You probably want to hide something like that. And I bet within the next couple of days we'll see those cars start disappearing. We could have said that about the middle section last week, and then the entire middle section starts disappearing, which tells me that they're parking them by how they're going to be going out and areas where they need to go. So otherwise they'd be picking them from all different spots. Here's another shot of the Grand Touring. It's not any clearer looking at it from there, but it was just another angle, and we wanted to get that. Let's see. Brian Borkowski's here. Hey, Brian, how are you? Tijana says, Lucid is a new company. Of course, they're not competing with a $1 million a year company 12 years ahead. Well, yeah, but everyone keeps trying to compare them to them. So that's why it's brought up. JJ, LOL, that's the commentary from YouTubers who have no idea how construction works. Yeah, just moving dirt around. Well, we all know who said that. Well, most of us know who said that. And if you don't, his name is not Warren at all. He didn't say they're just moving dirt around. Mr. Fudd himself. So anyway, this is the area over the Tractor Supply Company that's right next to Lucid, and we creep in there and so we can get closer views. That's the construction employees parking lot. You can see how big that they've made that lot. They plan on having a lot more workers there. No, it's not as big as Tesla's construction parking lot, but it's what they need. So that is what it is. Jerry says, I have diamond balls here, Lucid, all the way up. All right. You should sell them. If I had 2 diamond balls, I'd sell one. Just saying. Let's see. Just moving there. 20 Aeroblade and 20 Aerolite. Yep. Okay, so this is another angle of the construction. This is where you can see more of the steel piled up and more of the crane shot. In that earlier crane shot that we had a drop down. Actually, I'm not sure if we had already shown that. Yeah, we already showed it. But we had a drop down. We had to get a much lower angle because we had a plane flying overhead, and our controller gives us a warning when there's a plane. So we went down to a lower angle and had to stay down there. And then because we had to wait for that plane to go over, it's not so much that we know that we're not close to the plane, but the controller just keeps freaking out with warnings, and we need to get out of that zone so that we can actually fly properly without the thing screaming at us. So what do you guys got? Anyone here think that they are not going to get the production goals? Anyone think that they're going to double them? Anyone think that they're going to get 1,111? Because I know I saw that number. So this is our flight back. For perspective, this right here is where that track is. So you can see it's really not that big compared to that parking lot. That's a row of 11 cars going that way. So it's probably like 30 cars deep, and that's not that big. So yeah, today was an interesting day flying over because of that other drone. A little nervous because you've got someone else flying and you don't know where they're going and you don't know what they're going to do. But we kind of were going by the whole idea that they're going to go over the property and we're not. Matthew says 600 cars. Brian says not for production. AGT are being delivered to studios. Are you sure, Brian? I mean, just, I'm not doubting you, but I'm wondering what your source is. If those Grand Tourings are being delivered to studios. Bitter Gosling, if you check out their delivery pics on Twitter, some of the wheels are the touring version, I believe. I can't say I've seen that. I've seen some of the pictures, but I didn't notice that the wheels were the touring style. And maybe they were touring cars. Maybe they actually delivered some. We haven't seen too many of them. Once we got the drone with the zoom, we were able to see the rims on all these cars. That's when we started noticing a few differences, but not many. Zero System says, I believe they'll probably meet dream production goals, but if they do miss, it will probably be a minor miss and well within acceptable ranges. Majid says 570 plus cars. And Bear, have you heard the news, Lucid, about fit and finish parts issue? I have not heard any fit and finish issues. I've heard that all the cars have looked good. So if you've heard something else, speak up. We want to hear about it. Production, I could see higher than what they said. Delivery is going to be sadly short. I hope I'm wrong. I agree with you, Lee. I think production is going to be higher. I think deliveries might come in lower than expected. And I've talked about this for a bit. It's just, there's just too much in the logistics side that I think that they were probably a little bit behind on. Just going to go ahead and restart the video as we talk. Jerry's production says, my guess is they took the holidays off for a reason. They meet their goal and have their employees a vacation, but that should be full blast now, my guess. Yeah, that's what I'm a little curious about. Should be full blast, but we don't see any new cars from Monday unless they're playing musical cars and they pull out some and they put other ones in the exact same spot based on where I took a picture of. Like Will says, I think they surpassed production goals but missed deliveries because of the holidays and logistics. Agreed. Matthew says 600. Octavio says they'll meet the production numbers easily. 500. Matthew says 575 minimum. Brian said, Alexei, those AGT are not production. He's not here today. I wonder where he's at because he's usually in here. And Brian said that was confirmed with the San Jose studio. Kiwi Pete says, hi Bear, thank you for all the vids on Lucid watching my investment grow from New Zealand. My question is, have you ever seen the original factory where they made the parts for the car? Thanks. I haven't seen. I'm assuming that they're making the cars in the parts in there. I know they've got a stamping facility in there, so they're making those parts in there. As far as how many parts are they bringing in from outside, I'm just not sure. The battery part they are bringing in from another factory. We did a video on that a couple months ago. We did a flyover of it. There wasn't much to see, but that's where they're assembling the batteries. It's probably like 5 or 6 miles from this place, and it just looked like a building. It just happened to say Lucid on it, but there was, and a couple of Lucid semi-trailers, but there was nothing really to see there. That's probably why we never went back. Joe Money Taker, meet Kevin reserved one and still hasn't been notified of his delivery or any updates on his order at all. Well, when did he order it? I mean, if he just ordered it, you're not going to hear anything. Fei Wong, no one has come forward yet that they received the GT. Yep. I haven't heard anything like that either. And the fact that they're not covering those cars could also signify that, or at least that GT, that maybe this is actually something going to a production studio and they just don't feel the need to wrap it like they do with the cars that they're going to deliver. Exactly, drivers are needed more than ever. Logistics of it all not cheap thing. Not a cheap thing. The whole delivery, I imagine. That's not cheap, and I've heard that these over-the-road truckers are making $100,000 a year now, which is a lot of money, and but it's very tedious and very tedious work. It's not something, and dangerous at times, especially with the way I drive around truckers. But you know, Born is here. Thanks, Bear. Bad day today, but Lucid Nicola will succeed step by step. Yep, I think that's why we're still doing this. Meet Kevin is such a bear on all EVs aside from Tesla. But he ordered a Lucid, huh? Maybe to tear it apart and pick on it. I don't know. GT are not production. They're for the studio. That's Brian again. Fred Wolf. So at what point will California stop registering EVs because of electrical grid shortfalls? Probably never. Most people charge their EVs at night when there is not a high demand for electric. And that's why it hasn't made a very big impact at all, is because people don't charge their cars during these the high energy times because it costs more. I never charge my car during on peak hours. I always charge them overnight. Sorry, Fred. That's just the way it is. JJ, musical cars is on the same level of just moving dirt around. Conspiracy theorists just can never be wrong in their mind. Nope, you can throw every kind of evidence right in their face, no matter what it is. They're going to deny that it's actually there. Let's see, the San Jose studio has a GT and they're doing test drives for GT. I asked for a test drive, but it's only for the AGT reservation holders only. Wow. It's kind of rude. I just think that they should let people drive them. Make them into reservation holders. Oh, Alexi's here. Since Lucid is not using 19-inch rims for test drives, the presence of 19-inch rims next to the 21-inch aerial blades means that they've started making GTs. Let's see. And Joe said, probably regarding Meet Kevin, months ago during pre-order. Did Meet Kevin order a Dream Edition or did he order a Grand Touring? Yeah, I'll get back to that answer when it comes up. Let's see. Assuming 68 to 70 Dream Edition sitting on the lot, at least 500 have been delivered. That's close, good numbers. Let's see. GT option is 21 and 20, not 19. Correction, 19. All right. Oh, look, more spam. Yay. When do you think Lucid online stores will go online? Any guesses? Oh, jeez. I don't know, but I think that they... I'm not going to even make a guess. For merch also. Okay. They should sell merch. Tesla's making a killing, I think, selling their merch, and they're just putting out new stuff all the time. Dan Shin says Redlick has been really quiet recently. You know what? That is the truth. I have not heard much from him about this since I think it was the moving dirt around, and then I think he had one video after that. Oh yeah, well yeah, he kept on about the battery pack not being what he thinks it is. Fei Wong, if they had been able to deliver all the promised cars, why would they not have told us the good news? Because they're waiting until Q4 earnings to announce it. I agree. I think that they're just going to stick to the script and they're going to do their announcements like that. They're not going to just lay it all out there. Thank you, Jordan, for letting me know. Meet Kevin ordered a Dream. Do we know he actually ordered one, or is he just, since he's such a Tesla fan, is he just saying that? To say, oh, I never got my car? I don't know. It doesn't sound likely. Roof box might match car color in the future. If you're talking about like the Pures and the different colors, I don't know. Meet me and also bought the new Tesla. I can't remember the model name. Let's see. He loves the car and the stock just thinks they will fail. Oh, okay. So he's not a Tesla fanboy? I don't know. I don't want to keep talking about Meet Kevin. Anyway, this was the area where we had to fly lower because of the plane flying overhead. It's kind of one of those things that we have to watch out for. But you can see how we're lower than some of the electrical cables going across there. So, anybody got any other questions that you want to bring up for me about the construction or about the car count? Our next day there is going to be on Friday, and hopefully we're going to see some new cars out there. I'm really looking forward to seeing something new. I don't know why we were going to go a couple of days without production, whether it could be a supply issue. It could be anything, really. Could be that they do need to change something on the line. Maybe something is not working the way that they wanted to, and over the holiday they started changing it and they need a couple more days to finish it. Though we do see a lot of cars in the parking lot, so it makes me think that people are there working, so they got to be getting something done. Let's see. Will Lucid bring a cheaper model like the Model 2 from Tesla soon or new? Peter Rawlinson has said that he will bring a $25,000 car to market. We just don't know when. It's going to be after the Gravity. They're going to use the same playbook that Tesla did. Start off big, and until you can scale up production and figure out how to do everything, then you're going to then make cheaper and cheaper cars. It makes more sense to make the more expensive ones first because you can make a profit and keep yourself running. It takes so much money to get something like this going that you can't do that on cars that make a $500 profit. They have to make $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 profit in order to keep going. Let's see. Hopefully progress on the Gravity building too. Yeah, the Gravity building's underway. They're making it. Do you think they will be able to complete construction before the end of the year? Not 100%, but I think that they're going to be very close to being finished. Just I know with some of the timelines that they have and the fact that they've gotten different subcontractors to do the same work, so that one can start on one end and another can start on the other, and they can meet in the middle, and that way you get things done quicker. Let's see. JJE Lucid, I think, will eventually put out the Pure, which will be the lowest end model. Yeah, that's going to be a while before that one comes out. Slayer 33 just hopped on. Did they remove all the vehicles off the lot? No, Slayer, they didn't. There's still a bunch of cars there. They've removed about 8, and we're still waiting for the rest of them to go away. I'm more concerned with seeing newer cars coming out of there. I think that's more important, is to see more coming out. Lee says, I bet Gravity won't hit the road till at the earliest spring, summer of 23. Yeah, I think that's optimistic too. The factory's got to be complete, but I'm not sure how far they are in their design. And then they've got to set up supplies for everything, because you can't even order what you need for it until you have a design complete to some extent. Jordan S. Bear, did you see GM Q4 deliveries? They delivered 26 EVs. Lucid will beat them. Yeah, I mean, Nikola almost had a chance of beating them. I did see one funny comment that their quarter over quarter next quarter should be really good. And it'll be embarrassing if they get out there and they say, we're 10,000% over last quarter. Because they produce, 2,600 EVs? If they even get any out. Because every time I look, the Chevy Bolt gets delayed again and again. The last I heard, and I haven't looked in about a week or two, the Chevy Bolt is delayed until February now. So that factory is still sitting idle until they get all the battery packs to replace them in every other car. They did sell one Hummer, though, which I thought was interesting. So obviously that's going to be to an employee. So employee way up there. All right, Alexi says, thank you. Was there a battery range announced for the Gravity? No, there wasn't, but I would expect it to be very similar to the Lucid Airs. They're probably going to have very similar skateboards, would be my imagination on that, is because you have the same skateboard. If it's close to that, you've got very little changes, and you could scale up so much quicker if all the battery and the motors are nearly identical. And that would definitely be something where that production could come out in the summer or spring of 2023 if the skateboards are nearly identical. Which company is a site next to Lucid with so many cars? That is a junkyard. So it's a recycling company, and I think you can go there for parts, but they just got a huge plot of land and they just got tons of cars, but they're junk cars. Maybe we'll get another shot of that on the on our next video. See if there's any Lucids in there yet. No, just kidding. Just kidding. Bear, pay attention to the paint. You use high pressure gun on your M3. A friend of mine had the paint peel off. Well, I'll be honest with you. Out here in Arizona, paint peels off cars pretty quick. But my Model 3 hasn't had any paint issues yet, and I hope that it doesn't. I'm going to have to look at the warranty on the paint. I don't know what the paint warranty is. We don't get any rust out here, but we get oxidation from the sun, and it tears paint up. There are certain manufacturers that once their cars get to 10 years old, the paint just starts peeling off and oxidizes. It leaves a coat of paint on, but you can see it's almost like your skin peeling when you get a sunburn, and it's all over the cars. If Apple bought land next to Lucid, that'd be nuts. Yeah, I bet there's land available there. Well, those farmers will eventually move out. All of our farmers, they eventually get bought out by millions, and then they go buy land further out of town, and then they resettle with millions of dollars to redo it all over again. Bear, that is not the right time to joke about that. Yeah, I know. It just slipped out of my mouth. All right. So I know that there's an Apple site or being built, but it's supposed to be a data center, and it's not supposed to employ a lot of people. We're looking at like 100 people, and that's actually like 5 or 6 miles from where I'm at, and it's nothing exciting is going to be seen there. They're not going to make it into a big giant donut. It's just going to be a square box. But that's the Apple site that I know about. And there's an airport just north of me, Phoenix Gateway Airport, Phoenix Mesa Gateway Airport, and there's a ton of construction going on over there. It's all big box buildings. Electromechanica is one of the places over there. So it's just expanding a lot, and there's a lot of new technology stuff going in there. There's an e-scooter place at a factory right there also. I think it's called e-bikes. I'm not sure. Don't care. Thank you for the super chat. Nicola to the moon. I'm looking forward to your next video. Well, they will be out on Friday. Both Nicola and Lucid Flyovers. Thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Lee says, I'll be signing up for your Patreon 100% this week or next. Bill suck and iPhone glass repair ain't cheap. But I appreciate the updates and the time for the question. That's no problem. You know, speaking of iPhone repairs, my daughter just spilled water on her iPad this morning, and she was so upset, and we stuck it under the heater, and we're going to try and dry it out. But I don't think it looks good, but we're going to give it our best effort because the glass was already cracked and water got into it. Lots of EV starts building in Arizona. Yeah, if you guys don't know that Rivian, their new factory that's going in outside of Atlanta, they were like this close to building their factory in Arizona off of US 60, and it's just outside of Mesa. There was a tract of land, and I heard that they actually purchased it, but I'm not sure. It's technically in Pinell County. I don't have easier access to those records as I would if it was in Maricopa County, but it's a 12,000, I think it was 10 or 12,000 acre parcel, which is enormous. And half of it goes up the sides of the mountain, so it's not all usable. But they did not come to Arizona because there was not enough engineering talent, was what I was told, which is really too bad. Because I think there's a lot of engineering talent. There's a lot of that stuff, electrical engineers and mechanical engineers and all sorts of things like that. In Arizona, we've got Motorola used to be big out here. Motorola's not big anymore, but they're out here. Intel's out here. Honeywell. There's tons of different companies that have been out here and will always be out here. Have been out here for 50 years. JJ, thank you for the super chat. I don't want to hear about Nicola right now. LOL. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Let's see. Lucid could help create a $25,000 electric car in 4 years instead of 9 if a major car maker licensed its tech. That's true. That's true. There's always conversations about like Tesla licensing its FSD tech once it gets there, if they're the first ones there. Because there's a lot of companies putting billions of dollars into that. It might just be easier for them to license the tech. And you got companies like Chrysler that has like almost nothing for electrification, and they announced an SUV that didn't look too bad. I forget, it was called Air something. Yeah, they're stealing the name, but they said they're going to be completely electric by 2028, but they have nothing right now. So that's going to be interesting to see how they're possibly going to succeed in that. When I get my Lucid Pure, I'll race everyone, including Teslas. Teslas are pretty quick. I don't know if the Pure is going to have that speed, but I'll race you in my Model Y. I'll race anybody in my Model Y. No, I won't. But it's fun to race people with those cars because people just don't expect it. Don't care. LOL is not Nicola's fault this time. Fed news, bro. Alexei, put the iPad in a lot of ice. It works for cameras, so it absorbs the humidity. Yeah, I actually put it under my heater. I've got like one of those fake fireplace heaters, and I put it underneath there because that's actually going to dry it out faster than anything I can think of, including rice. Most likely, Georgia gave them better tax breaks just using labor shortages as an excuse. It's possible, but Fort Worth also was in there running for that, and the people that I know have said that that was nearly a lock, and then Fort Worth lost it, and they were doing some fantastic tax breaks. Yes, hopefully they announce a company within a year or two who they're licensing the tech to. Exciting times. Rice. Mach-E, most part is made assembly by Magma. Yeah, and the car's made in Mexico or assembled in Mexico. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. All right, well, we're getting to about 52 minutes. So if anyone has any more questions, speak up. Otherwise, we're going to get going here in a couple of minutes. So just kind of give you that 2-minute warning. Let's see. Hope Lucid opens a studio in Toronto, and thanks for all your work. Does anybody know off the top of their head how many studios they have right now? I was wondering about that because I thought I saw something where they wanted to have 20 by the end of this year, and I thought that they would have had more than that already. So if anybody knows that, let me know. And if not, I'll look that up after we get off this wonderful live stream. I hope everyone's enjoyed themselves today. Remember to help support the channel through Patreon or any way that you can. It's appreciated, but we're putting the Patreon goal for the flight for next Monday. And our next videos will be Friday. For Nicola and Lucid, we'll be doing a flyover without me yapping this much. And then following that, Monday will be the live stream for Nicola. And Tuesday will be fast charging with B&B. That would be our 10th or 11th episode. Time's flying when you're having fun. And then next Wednesday, we'll be back here doing this again. Hopefully we'll have some good counts to do. So I'm going to wrap it up at this point. I want to thank everyone once again for being here. I love you guys for supporting the channel. I don't want to make it weird. I don't want to say I love you, but hey, people have said that they love me and wanted to make me chicken. So anyway, thanks for watching. We're going to see you guys next Monday for the next video. All right, bye-bye.